Hari Om, Om Shanti. Greetings to all the spiritual seekers and welcome to today's divine filming of Bhagavad Gita shlokas, which are highly important for us to adopt and practice to be in yoga with the Lord. That means one has to merge one's consciousness with that of the universal consciousness or cosmic consciousness for one to be with the Lord, for experiencing that peace and bliss. Let's meditate on Bhagavad Gita. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयम् व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी आ आ Om. O Bhagavad Gita, you are the mother of wisdom. You shower upon us the immortal nectar of wisdom. You have been used by Lord Narayana himself to instruct Arjun and the whole humankind to tread the path of eternal dharma, realize oneself, realize that Paramatman, and taste the permanent peace and bliss of being born as a human being. You are into 18 chapters in the middle of the Mahabharata, authored by the ancient sage Ved Vyas with the help of Sri Mahaganapati. And in the form of Gita, also you are into 18 yogs, right from Arjun Vishad Yog to Moksha Sannyas Yog, the 18th one. You are the one who has the ability to make us traverse the disturbed ocean of life, this sansar, this bhavasaga, and ultimately get the moksha. That means one will be able to destroy one's attachment to the Maya, sever the bonds permanently, realizing one's own nature as the Atman energy, part and parcel of the super soul. That's what you have the ability to make us experience. Oh Bhagavad Gita, we meditate upon you. श्लोकार्धेन प्रवक्ष्यामि श्लोकार्धेन प्रवक्ष्यामि यद्युक्तं ग्रन्थकोटिषु श्लोकार्धेन प्रवक्ष्यामि यद्युक्तं ग्रन्थकोटिषु ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव न अपरे ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव न अपरे You see, in Shiv Gita, it's been mentioned that this material world is Maya. It is mithya. It is not the truth. It is just an hallucination for the human beings and the other jivas to experience. It is impermanent. It is subject to modifications from time to time until it perishes and again takes birth again in the cycle of rebirth and re-death. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahman, that Nirakar, Nirvishesh, and Nirakar, Nirgun, Nirvishesh, absolute God is the real one. Paramatman is the real one. They are the truth. Bhagavan is the real one who incarnates onto this planet and other planets of the multi-universes in this cosmos to re-establish that Sanatana Dharma from time to time. Whenever the Dharma gets in decline, it shows that decline in its righteousness. And when the unrighteousness is on the rise, he incarnates, you know that, in various incarnations from time to time to re-establish that Sanatana Dharma. And also it descends with his parivar, with his enlightened associates. He comes down, but nobody knows except the enlightened ones. Therefore, you be on that sadhana path to get yourself enlightened, to be with the Paramatman, to taste that higher taste, that Satchidanand. That's the main goal. In this divine session, let's chant 5 shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, which can actually transform one's life. When you understand, when you listen to these shlokas, when you comprehend and think about the deeper meaning of each one of these shlokas, then it is guaranteed that you will actually detach from the worldly affairs, the worldly subjects and objects which trap you in its maya. You need to wiggle out. You need to extricate yourself by detaching from the maya and attaching your mind, your intellect. That's only possible when you think that you are part and parcel of the super soul, an individualized soul living in this individualized body given by the God. So let's let's go to the five shlokas one by one and try to understand the meaning of each one of them and then adapt to our life to make our lives better and focus on what needs to be accomplished as a human being on this planet. Think thus, this is only the Janma, this is only the opportunity of life in this human body you have. Then the goal should be never to come back to this earthly plane. And let's see what the five shlokas that we are going to utter and understand the meaning. The number one is, first of all, everybody has to focus on one's own action, the prescribed duty, and not on the results. If you focus on your results, then you are not focusing on understanding what you are going to do to reach your goal of accomplishing that action. Therefore, you need to understand before you begin to do, perform your action. For example, if you're preparing for exams and always thinking about whether I would get distinction, whether I would get first class, second class, third class, or fail, if you contemplate on the end results, you will not be focusing on any subject, getting to know very well, being able to answer the questions that are posed in the examination paper. Therefore, you must focus on studies first on different topics. You cover them fully, you comprehend them, and you keep those things in your memory. Then only you will be able to answer the questions appearing in the examination question paper. Do not think about the results at all. Most of the times, they do not depend on just yourself. It depends upon the atmosphere and other factors in order to get the desired results. Dedicate everything, all your works to the Almighty, and the result as well you dedicate to Him. Just focus on your actions step by step. Then you can succeed. It is guaranteed. Another example being when you are trying to hit a golf ball with a club, if you always focus on the target where it is going to be dropped, you will not be able to hit the ball with your club. You lose attention, you lose your concentration, your focus. Instead of hitting the ball, you hit something else, maybe the grass or the ground. You will not be able to do that. Just focus on the ball and hit properly so that It goes to the target, what you thought about, what you've seen before your action, before hitting the ball. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोत्स्वकर्मणि मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोत्स्व अकर्मणि आ, आ, you have a right to perform your karma, your actions, your duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. That said, you are not the cause of the results of your actions because they depend upon many factors, the environment. So, if you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions, you may think, why should I perform any action at all? See, that's the trick there. Do not be gotten carried over by this. Do not be attached to not doing your action. You must perform your actions, your duty, fulfilling your responsibilities. Then only you will succeed. Do not think about the results with selfish motive to enjoy them. Rather, you must work for the welfare of the society. Then you will get the full satisfaction. Coming to the second stanza from Bhagavad Gita, dealing with the soul, one must be fearless. One can be fearless only when one thinks he or she is not this body. When you think you are a soul, then you will be fearless, as soul is neither born nor does it ever die. It is permanent, it is shashwat, it is immutable, imperishable, it's eternal, as you are part and parcel of the super soul. That's why you exist always. You never cease to exist. That is the truth. That is the truth. One must know and operate under this mode, operate under the mode of sattvic nature, and go beyond the trigunas, the three qualities of the nature of the body. Then you are home. Half of it you have already accomplished when you contemplate that you are not this body but the soul energy, and then going beyond the three qualities of the nature. Get situated on that transcendental platform, then only 50% is there, which can be accomplished by practicing that sadhana, that internal pranayam. Lord Krishna recommends highly for us to do it by balancing Your prana and apana, life force energy within your body without inhaling external oxygen or expelling carbon dioxide from your lungs that gets collected from each and every cell and then gets to the lungs. That is what is required for you to be successful. And you see, this does not cost any money. You have the machinery, everything is within your own body. Just learn the technique of internal pranayam and focus on your bhrukuti. Perform the sadhana. Nitya, that means every day, for you to become perfect and reach the abode of peace and bliss within your own body. Think this is your own temple. No need to go on a pilgrimage outside of the body. That is the truth. Let's see what Lord Krishna says about the soul. न जायते म्रियते व कदाचि नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचि नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयम् पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयम् पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे Let's see what Bhagavan Krishna says in his own words. The soul is neither born nor does it ever die, nor having once existed does it ever cease to exist. It always exists. The soul is without birth. How wonderful it is. Eternal. It is Shashwat. Immortal. There is no death to it. Only the body is mortal, but not the soul. And it is ageless. It is neutral. It goes through the body of its various stages. Ever since you take a birth, it migrates within your own body through childhood, youth, adulthood, old age, until death. It just keeps on migrating within your own body and finally leaves the body as the body does not function to accommodate it and puts on another brand new body, just like you discard your worn out or torn clothes and get into new clothes. And we said it is ageless. It is not destroyed. It is indestructible. When the body is destroyed, only the body is destroyed, all the Panchabhutas, they again merge into Panchabhutas to their constituents, products, and byproducts. Nothing is lost, everything is recycled. The nature, the energy of the nature is recycled. And you see, nothing has happened to your soul, that individual soul. It is evergreen, permanent, shashwat. That's how one should not get frightened of the impending death. It may strike at any time. But if you know this fact about the death, then I'm sure you would not fear when it strikes you. But at the time of striking, if you remember the names, the forms, the abodes, the associates, or just remember his name, or just utter a monosyllable, Om, at the time of leaving your body, you will reach him. What an opportunity! It does not cost you anything. But you see, it needs practice in order to remember him at the time of death. It's not easy to remember. While you are healthy, you have to practice. You should be in that consciousness. Then you can easily remember him. And then you can leave the body peacefully, thinking that you're gonna serve at the lotus feet of the Lord. Now let's focus on the third stanza of the five. You know, we have three gateways to hell. You know what they are? Those three gates? It's a lag, lust, greed, and anger. Lust is karma or any other desire to possess the worldly subjects and objects, or to fulfill or satisfy your ears, your eyes, your nose, your tongue, your touch, as the desires run after worldly things like wild horses. Not easy to control them unless you have a controlled mind by your buddhi, your intelligence. That only happens when you operate under the mode of that sattvic nature, that recognition, that identification, the true identification of being part and parcel of the super soul, that individual soul energy you are. Then only you can control your lag, your desires, your greediness, and your anger. Anger actually ruins your life. That is the one will get you into trouble of being revolved in the unending cycle of death and rebirth. When you fulfill your desires, it can be quenched. But you see, the desires again pop up inexhaustibly, inexhaustibly. That is the truth. But you see, with controlled mind, with controlled senses, by your intelligence, and then with your true identification, you can solve all your problems in duality. you can remain the same. You will never get agitated. Rather, you are treading the path of righteousness toward reaching the abode of peace and permanent bliss. How wonderful it would be to accomplish that very goal. What's the corresponding stanza that Lord Krishna uttered and conveyed this meaning? त्रिविधं त्रिविधं नरकस्येदं द्वारं नाशनमात्मनः त्रिविधं नरकस्येदं द्वारं नाशनमात्मनः कामः क्रोधस्तथा लोभस्तस्मात् त्रयं त्यजेत् कामः क्रोधस्तथा लोभस्तस्मादत्रयं त्यजेत् आ These are the three gateways. They lead one to the hell, to burn in hell. That means within your own body, you burn. If you are carried over, if you're contemplating on fulfilling your desire all the times, that karma also, and krodha, anger, and lobha, that greediness, they are the three gates to the hell within your own body, and they degrade your atma, your soul, your spirit. They degrade, and all the energy is externalized in order to satisfy your knowledge senses, those five senses. It's bad. It's bad. That is why one needs to renounce this karma, this krodha, and lobha, that means lust, anger, and greediness. We gotta renounce them. Then only the doors to the hell will be closed. You close yourself, but you see, you pave the way to the abode of peace and bliss. That's the one you need to tread. Let's see, in his own words, what did Lord Krishna say? There are three gateways to hell of self destruction for the soul. These are lust, anger, and greed. Therefore, one should abandon these three completely. In the fourth one, what are we going to learn from this? We are going to learn to tolerate that nothing is permanent in this world. You are going to tolerate the dualities, the multiplicities of the nature thrown at you as you are facing the life. Ever since you come to consciousness that you are existing on this planet, ever since you are externalized rather fully, most of them in fulfilling the desires, only contemplating on worldly affairs, their subjects and objects, to enjoy them, to possess them in excess. And you see, you face dualities: respect, disrespect, pain, pleasure, honor, dishonor, hot, cold, summer, winter, all these dualities we all face. If you cannot tolerate him, then you will be revolved in the unending cycle of rebirth and death. Everything that emanates from the nature is perishable. It does not exist forever, in sharp contrast to the soul energy, that spirit, that is only the Satya, that is only the truth, that is only the inexhaustible one, always exists, is never born. So be careful. Mm. Let's see how Lord Krishna uttered this stanza. मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो अनित्यास्थां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत आगमापायिनो अनित्यास्थां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत आ Let's listen to his own words. O son of Kunti, the contact between the senses and the sense objects gives rise to fleeting perceptions of happiness and distress. These are non permanent and come and go like the winter and summer seasons, those dualities. O descendant of Bharata, one must learn to tolerate them without being agitated, without being disturbed. Let's utter the last stanza from this divine filming of Bhagavad Gita shlokas and its wisdom for us to adapt to our life. How do you become stable like the ocean? As you know, ocean is vast, and yet it remains calm in spite of myriad forms of creatures in it: the plankton, fish, all kinds of other life forms in the ocean, but it looks calm and quiet, accommodates everything without throwing out anything. It does not discard anything from it. You see, that's how Bhagavan is also compared to a vast ocean. We are all rivers, small streams. If you are merging into the ocean by sadhana, then you lose your identity. Then you are as good as the Paramatman. You get his qualities, his nature. That is the main goal. But you see, one needs to be as stable as the ocean. When it rains incessantly and then all the different rivers merge, you see the river, the ocean, sometimes it swells and generates very big waves. Maybe some storms may happen, some destruction may happen, but you see, it all actually man made catastrophe. If it were not the man made catastrophe, then it is actually stable. It can accommodate all the different rivers trying to merge with it. Mm, Let's see what Lord Krishna says through this stanza. आपूर्यमानमचलप्रतिष्ठम् आपूर्यमानमचलप्रतिष्ठम् समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्यत् समुद्रमापः प्रविशान्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामायम् प्रविशन्ति सर्वे तद्वत् कामायम् प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी आ. Let's pay attention to this, what Lord Krishna said in his own words through this stanza. Just as the ocean remains undisturbed by the incessant flow of waters from different rivers merging into it, likewise, the sage, the enlightened ones, who are unmoved despite the flow of desirable objects all around them, attain peace. They do, and not the person who strives to satisfy desires, satisfy the knowledge senses. They never get satisfied. You see, they revolve in the unending cycle of sansar, that rebirth and redeath. Mm, mm, Hari Om, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I hope you learned some wisdom through these 5 life changing stanzas from Bhagavad Gita uttered by the very Bhagwan himself. I hope that you understand very well, and then adapt to your day to day life for you to tread the path of righteousness and accomplish the spiritual goal of tasting that permanent peace and bliss. That's the main goal of being born as a human being on this earthly plane. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः आ, आ, if you cannot do anything else on this earthly plane, you renounce everything, your dharma, your adharma, your material goals, and your spiritual goals. Everything you forget about them, no matter whether you are male or female. And whichever religion you belong to, whichever so called caste, creed you belong to, whichever region you belong to, they do not matter at all to me. You renounce everything, abandon all your duties, and seek my shelter. Dedicate everything to me. Serve at my lotus feet. Get my nature. I will protect you. I will release you from your accumulated karmic reactions, those sins you will be liberated from. It is guaranteed. It is my promise. That's what Lord Krishna says. What an opportunity for the human beings when they surrender to Him, when they are not in a position to do anything else. Just seek His shelter, dedicate everything to Him, offer everything to Him. What all you have, your intelligence, your body, your hands, your legs, your feet, your eyes, your ears. Just hear about Him, see Him, smell Him, taste Him, touch Him. You see, you can accomplish your spiritual goals 100% guaranteed. That is what we all need. Come to an understanding, the right understanding by listening to Bhagavad Gita and then putting into practice in your own life. Adopt them. Then you are home. No doubt about it. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. With another divine filming on Bhagavad Gita shlokas for us to learn more about the wisdom the immortal nectar that it provides us. Swasti.